man, look at that.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to another video on Filmmania. One of the highest rated reality shows on the Discovery Channel, Gold Rush follows a team of miners as they search for gold deep within the earth, and as one would expect, each episode shows a particular team making an impressive find. However, some finds that have taken place on the show are nothing short of absolutely jaw-dropping. Let's have a look at some of the biggest gold nuggets to ever be found on Gold Rush. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Alright, now let's begin. Number 5. Victoria's Golden Triangle. During the end of the 19th century, around 100,000 miners as well as ordinary citizens set out on a risky journey into the snowy north on the legendary Klondike Gold Rush Trail. Most of them didn't live to see the end of it due to the treacherous terrains, dangerously low temperatures, bellicose bears, wrathful storms, all of these factors making the survival rate just shy of 1 in 3. Nearly 2,500 tons of gold have been discovered in Victoria's Golden Triangle ever since the first major gold rush took place in Australia in 1851. And according to an estimation by geologists, millions of tons of gold are still yet to be discovered. And this area was featured on the spin-off series of the original Gold Rush called Gold Rush Parker's Trail.
5,000 tons of gold have been discovered in Victoria's Golden Triangle.
Number 4. The Greenhorns find a nugget. During what seemed to be one of the worst operations that the crew has ever had on the show, and after no luck with panning, the detector which Danny and Fred were using for the search finally starts to send off its signal. The crew starts to examine the site which the detector indicated for the presence of gold, but instead finds copper wire. After some more searching, the detector goes off again over another area, and this time the crew manages to find a relatively large piece of gold and then celebrate in joy. The nugget was approximately worth $800. Number 3. The Victoria Gold Rush. In an episode of Gold Rush Parker's Trail, Tyler asks Parker, Danny, and Fred to show up in the middle of nowhere, where she reveals to them, resting in the backseat of her car, a replica of the Welcome Stranger gold nugget, which was the biggest gold nugget to have ever been found, which was then melted into bars of gold worth nearly $3 million. Tyler and Fred then head for the south in order to search for a mini wash plant, so Parker could examine any ground which could potentially contain gold with it, while as Parker and Danny drive 8 miles to German Gully to explore the hard rock mines from the actual Victoria Gold Rush. Number 2. Tailings and Kalgoorlie. In one episode of Gold Rush Parker's Trail, the crew travels to Kalgoorlie, Western Australia, and tests the earth for riches in the form of gold. The crew's detector goes off on a rock, which they break into too with a sledgehammer, and manage to find a bit of gold out of it, which was not worth more than $100. The crew then uses the dry blower on which Parker spent $6,000 on to collect the gold concentrates from the riffles into a barrel. Meanwhile, Parker tries to prove that the land which they had high hopes for was viable and tries to search for nuggets one last time with a detector. And while all hopes seem lost, the detector suddenly goes wild, which makes Parker bend down and look through all the rubble and pull out a golden nugget from it, which weighed about half an ounce. And the crew behind him managed to mine up to 28 nuggets, which Parker dries and then weighs. And even though it didn't turn out to be as much to break even on what Parker invested in the whole thing, the ground which it was extracted from displayed great potential. Number 1. The Lost Mine. In an episode of Gold Rush, David Turin's Lost Mine, mining expert David Turin lined up 4 mines in the middle of the gold-rich Nevada desert, even though this place was abandoned as a mining site due to the golden nuggets being extracted from there being too small. In 2017, Jason Sanchez began making trips there in order to bring it back to its former glory. The first mine was located about 16 kilometers down a dirt track on the outskirts of Humboldt Range. The area did not have the ideal access to water, making the task of mining quite difficult. However, it was still said to be rich in gold. Dave asked geologist Clark James to assist him on his journey, after which he met Jason Sanchez, and not long after their search, Jason came across a large golden nugget worth approximately $5,000, taking everyone by surprise. Discovery Channel's Gold Rush is proof that modern-day gold mining is just as fruitful as mining for gold back in the old days, and that this practice is still in full swing. Here were some of the biggest nuggets to ever be found on Gold Rush. Well, this brings us to the end of our video, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't liked the video yet, it's not too late. Give it a thumbs up. We'll see you soon in another video.